What happens when a military killbot is struck by lightning and becomes a dancing, joking, movie-quoting sentient machine? If it's the 1986 movie Short Circuit, number 5 comes alive and rewires all of our hearts. I'm Aaron Sagers, and in this Blastr to the Past, we are giving you all the input you need about this 30-year-old sci-fi comedy. When it opened in May of 1986, the movie generated sparks at the box office, hitting number 1 and making $40.7 million domestically on a $9 million budget.
I want you to meet Strategic Artificially Intelligent Nuclear Transport, or SAINT as we call it.
Visual futurist Sid Mead designed these robots. You've seen his designs or concept art in Star Trek, the motion picture, Blade Runner, Tron, Aliens, 2010, Elysium, Tomorrowland, and more.
Newton Crosby, you must make instantaneous appearance. Marner says stat. You have to go hobnob with the bigwigs.
Fisher Stevens was hired to play Ben as a white guy, but was fired and replaced with Bronson Pinchot when the character was changed to be Indian. Then, according to Stevens, Pinchot was fired and Stevens was brought back on.
They hide out till the first strike blows over. Then each one of these little boogers carries a 25-megaton bomb right up the middle of Main Street in Moscow.
The movie was released at the height of the Cold War when the Soviets were a popular on-screen villain.
Wolverines!
Actor Austin Pendleton told the AV Club in 2009 the original script was heartbreakingly beautiful before it became, quote, a nice little, slightly bland kids movie.
Very funny.
According to Pendleton, Badham wanted Newton Crosby to possess a sense of utter alienation that only the likes of Dustin Hoffman could convey. However, the studio insisted on casting Steve Guttenberg instead.
Now what do they need me for? To tell them each robot costs $11 million and it kills people?
Actor G.W. Bailey, who played Scroder, also faced off against Steve Guttenberg in the Police Academy movies as pretty much the same character, Captain Harris. Ocean Software, one of the biggest video game developers in the 1980s, made a game of the movie for the Commodore 64 computer as well as the ZX Spectrum. The robot in Wes Craven's Deadly Friend, also released in 1986, used number 5's chassis. The puppeteer was Tim Blaney, who also provided number 5's voice in real time so character interaction would be more authentic.
Need input. Input.
Make a note of this song.
And look at this.
Who's Johnny? The hit single by El DeBarge, which plays throughout the movie and inspires Johnny Five's name, is not included on the movie soundtrack. The music video featured Sheedy, a cardboard cutout of Gutenberg, and number 5's robot hands. Weird Al Yankovic parodied the song in 1986 with Here's Johnny on his Polka Party album. Neil Blomkamp's 2015 movie Chappie is heavily influenced by the Short Circuit franchise. Although Pixar's Wally looks a lot like Johnny Five, writer-director Andrew Stanton told the AV Club in 2008 he never thought about the similarities until others pointed it out. Plus, that robot played with cockroaches, not a grasshopper. And here's an iconic catchphrase uttered as Johnny is fearing death?
Disassemble. Dead. Disassemble number 5. Dead.
But you can't die, you're a machine.
Bleak. Producers did call Sheedy and Gutenberg for Short Circuit 2, but the Goot turned it down because he did not have a script, a decision he said he regrets, and Sheedy only returned for an audio cameo. Number 5 was actually going to be painted in camouflage, which did happen in pink. Director Badham was also behind the John Travolta hit Saturday Night Fever.
What are you doing here, creep?
For the record, Steph apparently dated a violent, abusive psychopath who shows up at her house with a gun and has tried to kill her dog and her robot friend.
And this.
The Three Stooges robot sequence was nightmarish to shoot, with up to 18 people needed to operate each robot. In a proposed 2011 reboot, number 5 was to befriend a lonely boy with a fractured family, but maintain the same look, but with better tech. Although he is known as Johnny Five, he does not assume the famous name until the final minute of the film.
Johnny. Yeah. Johnny 5. That's cool.
And that's our blaster to the past to 1986's Robo Classic Short Circuit. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to check out all of our dispatches from the world of fandom at Blastr.com.